Welcome everybody to session 2 of our plant protein initiative. This portion of this initiative will be public company pitches, and we've got a great lineup for you guys. I'm Anil Mall. I represent the Canadian Securities Exchange, and joining me today are Donna Reddy. Donna is the president of PlantX brands. It's a company listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol VEGN. Next, we have Julia Frank. Julia is the CEO of PlantX Life, which is also listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the symbol VEGA. And last but not least, we've got Matt Lurie. Matt is the CEO of a venture-listed company called Organic Grower, and their symbol is OG. I want to welcome all three of our presenters to the session and to the stage. I hope everyone's doing well. We're going to actually start off with the first presentation, which is going to be Donna Reddy. And Donna is the newly appointed president of PlantX. She recently held the position of president of Holy Crap Foods. Prior to that, she was the VP of Brand Elevation at Green Space Brands, which is a food and beverage startup. And at that place, she was responsible for overseeing product development, marketing, branding, and design of 9 brands across Canada, including Love Child Organics and Kiju Organic Juice. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Donna to unmute herself and join us.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to move forward. So Anil, thank you so much. And as Anil said, my name is Donna Reddy, and I'm the president of PlantX. And I just wanted to take the opportunity just to sort of start looking at, so why plant-based? And there's 3 main reasons, I think, for why plant-based. And the first reason is predominantly for health reasons. So consumers are looking to incorporate more nutrient-dense plants into their diet. They want to feel good, and they are making healthy, conscious choices. The second reason is for the environment. A vegan diet is much more sustainable for the planet. And the third reason is for ethics. There's a rising awareness about animal rights. Plants have emerged as the guiding star of health and wellness in response to consumer concerns associated with meat and dairy products. So Gen Y and Gen Z are growing up with a completely fresh perspective of eating meat. Widespread information, as they are educated on a completely other level, is making them aware of practices that previous generations were just blind to. Times are changing, and people are hailing the health benefits of following a plant-based diet. And these people are raising their children in the same way, forever changing the diet of future generations. So the way we look at food is completely evolving. So we look at plant-based, and it's moving from niche to mainstream. And according to Polaris, the global plant-based meat market is expected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of almost 16% during 2020 to 2027. The plant-based market size will continue to grow year over year, and just looking at that graph, that trend is up, up, up. And right now, only 7% of society is currently following a plant-based diet, with 30% of people indicating that they plan to move to one. So that's a lot of intention. 40% of millennials identify as vegan, and we already see big corporations scrambling to fill out their plant-based offerings as quickly as they possibly can. So plant-based is definitely on the rise, and PlantX is here to meet that demand. So PlantX, who are we? It's a publicly named company, and under the umbrella of PlantX, we're beginning to round out our portfolio with recent acquisitions. So the first, we'll start with Holy Crap breakfast cereal. Holy Crap is an organic breakfast cereal that's manufactured in Gibsons on the Sunshine Coast in BC. It's a plant-based product with a foundation of buckwheat, chia, and hemp seeds at the base of all 4 of our current SKUs. The ingredients are pure, simple, and unprocessed. You might recognize the name of Holy Crap. It was hugely popular 10 years ago as it was on a Dragon's Den segment. And it's almost as though the product was a little ahead of its time. What we notice is that the brand has an unforgettable name, an amazing product, high in fiber and protein, and it has an extremely loyal consumer base. We knew that the brand was in need of an updated look and, more importantly, a compelling point of difference. So with all of our research, we found that consumers are looking for their food to work really hard for them. And they want to feel good when they're eating and after they eat. And that got us to understanding the true benefit of Holy Crap on digestion. And based on all the constant feedback that we receive from our customers, we know that Holy Crap works. So the gut is often referred to as your second brain, and 90% of serotonin, which is a happy hormone, is actually produced in your gut. And there's so much emerging science about the link between your gut and your mind. If you have a healthy gut, you'll have a happy mind, and that's the compelling offer of Holy Crap. Currently, you can find Holy Crap in many independent grocery stores across the country, and our distribution just continues to grow. You can also find us on Amazon and at holycrap.com. So another recent acquisition for Plant & Co. is Yam Chops. And Yam Chops is North America's first plant-based butcher shop and is on College Street here in Toronto. The shop has been around for more than 10 years, and it too was featured on Dragon's Den. And our meals focus on delicious, plant-based, center-of-the-plate options. So offerings such as chicken schnitzel, Szechuan beef, Montreal-style steak, tuna-less tuna. We also offer salads, and Yam Chops also has a line of sauces and dressings and other dry goods such as raw hemp parmesan and coconut bacon, which is a great topper for a baked potato or a CBLT. We're very inclusive, so vegans, vegetarians, flexitarians, and even meat enthusiasts love shopping at the shop or purchasing online. There's so much opportunity for Yam Chops, and Plant & Co.'s vision is to expand Yam Chops' plant-based culinary experience and make it a destination of choice for all consumers, from e-com, grocery retail, food service opportunities, and opening new stores. The possibilities with Yam Chops are endless. There's one project that I wanted to highlight. We have this currently underway. We're working with the University of Manitoba to develop a process to make a hemp powder with increased protein levels that will eventually be added to some of our current plant-based offerings. So think of this as our special ingredient. Animal protein supplies amino acids necessary for a healthy diet, and some plants are just missing those key amino acids. So to overcome this, you can actually blend plant proteins to get the amino acids, and this is what the team at University of Manitoba are working on for us. It's a two-step process. So the first step is they're establishing a proprietary method of milling and processing to produce a defatted hemp flour with increased protein levels. And then the next step is to take the results of the first phase and produce a defined amount of concentrate for testing within products. So we're really excited about this partnership with the University of Manitoba, and we're looking forward to the results of the project by the end of Q1. So if that's not enough, the future is extremely bright for Plant & Co. With plans to expand to Miami and Los Angeles area, because those are two very vegan-heavy areas. And we will continue to focus on unlocking growth by continuing to enhance our portfolio, by driving significant revenue growth while strengthening our reputation within the industry and with our consumers.
Perfect. Thank you so much for, kind of giving us an introduction to the company, Donna. You were right on time as well. So you didn't go over, which is a bonus. I just want to mention to everybody watching, if you do have questions for any of our speakers, please feel free to submit them into the question box. Once all three companies have had a chance to present, we will be going ahead and asking them these questions. So if there's anything specific that you'd like to know, feel free and type that into the question box. Coming up next, we've got our second speaker and presenter, and it is Julia Frank. Julia is the CEO of PlantX Life, which is listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange under VEGA. And Julia is an experienced marketing, brand, and business development manager. She's worked multiple years for companies like BMW, Daimler in Germany, and she holds an MBA as well as a master's degree in digital entrepreneurship. She has successfully set up brands and company strategies. As the face of PlantX, Julia focuses on a healthy and active lifestyle, loves to cook plant-based recipes, and travels the world to experience as many different cultures as possible. On that note, I'm going to invite Julia to join us, and please join us with your presentation.
All right, so thanks again for the introduction. As you said, I'm the CEO of PlantX, a Canadian company based in Vancouver. And yeah, what is PlantX about? We are the plant-based face of we are the one-stop shop for everything plant-based, and the digital face of the plant-based community. That's our company slogan. I love it, and it really basically says what we are. We are an online platform for basically a couple thousand products that we offer at the moment. Obviously, they are all plant-based. We offer products from all different kind of verticals. If it's groceries, if it's plant-based pet food, if it's cosmetics. Believe it or not, we also offer plants. We also offer a plant-based meal delivery. So basically we offer anything plant-based, what you can imagine basically. And that's what makes us so unique, because when you think about it, for all the verticals that I mentioned, you basically would have to visit like 5 or 6 different websites. And we basically offer everything under one umbrella and on one platform. Then we are about to open up brick and mortar locations, one in San Diego, the other one in British Columbia and Squamish in Canada, and also one in Tel Aviv in Israel. I'm really excited about that one. And for us also, education is key. Like a plant-based lifestyle is my passion, and I really want to educate people on how it's done. I'm convinced you feel much better when you follow a plant-based diet and lifestyle, and it's our mission to educate people how it's done, because it's actually not as difficult as most of the people think. So I think it's also an important part to really educate people about plant-based nutrition and a plant-based lifestyle. So what is the team behind PlantX? I want to be really short here, but to mention a couple people. Sean Dollinger is the actual founder of PlantX. He's a serial entrepreneur. He started companies already 20 years ago, a couple e-commerce platforms. He's super experienced in building up those platforms. I think he built his last company from like 6 million to over $1 billion. And our goal is to do the same with PlantX. Then a little bit about myself. Thank you for the nice introduction. I'm originally from Germany. I worked many years for BMW and Daimler. I have a lot of experience in building up brand strategies, business development, and project management. And we have an amazing CFO. He's Lauren Repkin, 15 years of experience, has a very successful practice in Toronto. And our CMO, Alex Hoffman, she's amazing. You will see, I will show you a little video so you see more about our website. She has a great taste. She has a high appreciation for beauty, and you can tell that on our website. I'm going to show you a little bit in a minute. We have an amazing team of board of directors, an advisory team, and really important, a medical advisory team, which is in my opinion, really important, because we want to make sure that the meals that we offer, the groceries, that they are all really hit our expectations, and that they are like really healthy, 100% plant-based. And also, let's say we claim they are gluten-free. We want to make sure they are gluten-free. So we have an amazing medical advisory team that help us to fulfill our expectations. So to give you a better idea about PlantX, I want to show you a little video. Unfortunately, probably without sound. Or maybe you hear the sound a little bit. So plantx.com is our website. Here you go. So you have a little bit of an impression. Okay, as mentioned before, I just want to dive a little bit deeper. So at the moment, we offer more than 5,000 plant-based products, and we add new products daily. So there's every day new products you can check out. They're all 100% plant-based. And as I said, from multiple verticals, pet food, cosmetics, groceries, plants, and meal delivery. And coming to the meal delivery, we just introduced our subscription-based model. So basically, you can order plant-based meals either for 3 or 5 days. So it's basically a hassle-free subscription. You don't have to think about what you're gonna cook. You don't have to think about grocery shopping. You get full meals for a full 3 or 5 days. And I think it's also great for people that never actually try to be fully plant-based, because many people actually think that you won't get enough energy out of plant-based meals. And we will for sure prove you wrong, because these meals are amazing. They are nutritious. And I think it's a great way to actually try to be plant-based for a couple of days in a row. Because what is also really important to us, we basically welcome anyone. You don't have to be 100% plant-based. It's okay if you like your steak once or twice per week. We just want to kind of introduce people a plant-based lifestyle, show them how it's done, and maybe to experience that it makes you feel better for sure. But like I said, it's totally fine if you still enjoy your meat a couple times per week. I think it already makes such a big impact on the environment and on our life if you at least try to kind of make a little change in the right direction. As I mentioned before, we also have a home plant delivery. Believe it or not, in the past few years, the houseplant sales in the US have increased by 50% to 1.7 billion. So for us, it was clear that we're also going to introduce that vertical. It also goes along very much with our name, PlantX, which I like. And I mean, also especially during the Corona times, it's so important to feel comfortable at home. And, it's also proven that plants make you feel better. They humidify the air. They purify the air. So especially during the pandemic, the houseplant sales exploded even more.
Got it.
So what we did, we actually acquired a company in the UK. They are called Bloomberg's Club UK. And that's actually our first step into our expansion into Europe. So Bloomberg's Club UK is active on the UK market, and actually just today we announced that that we expanded into Germany with Bloomberg's Club. From today, actually, we start our plant delivery service also in Germany, which to me personally is really important because I'm German, as you know. So it's really exciting to us. Then we have a restaurant directory, and we also offer unique recipes recipes on a weekly basis. Actually, I love to cook, so every week I publish a video cooking a plant-based recipe, simply to show how easy it is and that there are no excuses. Everyone can be plant-based. Everyone can cook plant-based. These are very short and easy recipes, short videos. Where I personally show what I love to cook, and check it out. This is actually one of I think it's amazing to do these videos once a week. It's my passion.
I hate to jump in here and cut you off.
Oh, yeah. I'm
we're going a little bit over your time, but we'll definitely come back during the Q&A period to some of this stuff. Just want to say it's just after noon here in Vancouver, and both your presentations have made my stomach growl. So, but yeah, what I want to do is I want to bring in Matt. We want to make sure Matt has enough time to talk about Organic Grower and his company as well. So Julia, we'll definitely come back to you. If anyone in the audience is interested in learning more, I highly recommend you reach out to these three presenters via their website. We'll obviously have their contact details up as well. But I want to make sure I introduce Matt Lurie. Matt is the CEO of Organic Grower. And Matt is actually a fourth-generation grocer and the founder of Organic Garage. It's a family business that was 80 years in the making. Matt's grandparents were Polish immigrants who in 1931 opened a one-stop grocery store in downtown Toronto. It's a local story. That one location eventually grew to be a 15-story chain called Sunnybrook Farms. And obviously Matt takes great pride in his family's history and has remained committed to the values and dedication demonstrated in his grandparents' legacy, opening the first Organic Garage location in 2006. The company has now expanded to 4 locations with a 5th on its way to help satisfy a growing customer base. Their motto, which I don't want to leave out, is healthier food for less. So Matt, thanks for taking the time to join us. I'll let you go ahead with your presentation.
Yeah, so thanks for the great introduction and thanks for the opportunity for presenting today with the other panelists. Like Anil mentioned, my name is Matt Lurie and I'm the president, CEO, and founder of Organic Garage. Organic Garage is a grocery retail chain. And as I go through the presentation, I'm going to focus on who we are, what we've accomplished, where we are currently, and where we're headed. So we have 4 locations located in the Greater Toronto Area. We have 1 in Oakville, 1 in Vaughan, and 2 in Toronto. The business has been operating for 14 plus years, so we aren't a new startup. We've been in the business quite some time. And like Anil mentioned, we do like to call back to my family's history, which is this photo of my grandfather and his 2 brothers in front of their College Street store in downtown Toronto. That photo was taken in the late 40s, early 50s. And we like to show that because we want to make sure that customers and shareholders and investors understand that we aren't just a nameless, anonymous corporation. There is a family lineage there, and it helps, embed loyalty to consumers where they're shopping. We like to show this slide just so people understand the opportunity in the organic segment. Part of this panel, is addressing some of that, but the opportunity is huge, specifically in Ontario. And our goal is to continue to roll out bricks and mortar stores to meet that demand that continues to grow every day. So what makes us different? 4 key segments: our brand, our environment, our product selection, and our value. I'll touch on plant-based and our product selection. Just quickly to say that, sorry, Grace, if you can go back up, yeah. Just to say that in our product selection, organic and wellness stores have always been at the epicenter of food trends. And plant-based is on trend right now and growing very rapidly. So the first 2, brand and environment, our stores are very unique. We have warm, intimate stores. Our messaging is very blunt and transparent, which is on trend these days with millennials who do not want to be spoken to in corporate speak. Our environment, we use materials like brick, concrete floors, reclaimed wood to create a market-based environment that customers want to explore and not just run in and run out of. In terms of our product selection, we vet every item that is sold in our stores through our dump it list. We like to tell customers, we read the label so you don't have to, so you can shop in the store and not worry about what you're buying, unlike conventional grocery stores. We're a one-stop shop. We carry 8,000 to 10,000 SKUs, and plant-based is a large component of that, and it touches almost every category that we have in the store. So there's a plant-based offering within each category that we satisfy. One of the biggest one, though, is our value proposition. So our goal originally with Organic Garage was to apply the same discount principles that the large grocers apply to their discount banners, being the No Frills or the Freshcos or the Food Basics, which is smaller store formats, rationalized SKU base, simplified labor. And all those things get passed down into price that allow us to be the leader in price when it comes to everyday affordability. And so we've consistently checked average baskets with our competitors, and we're usually 18 to 24% cheaper than a Whole Foods. We're 12 to 18% cheaper than any natural grocery chain, and 8 to 12% cheaper than any national grocer. And so value is a key component for us. As customers become more aware about what they're eating, price becomes a key factor for them in ensuring that they can continue to buy the products they want every day. So there's just some great photos of our brand and environment. We have our private label. You can see some snapshots of the store, our bulk sections in terms of self-serve, all things that are on trend these days with what's going on in retail. So what have we accomplished? So like I mentioned when we first started off, we have 4 retail locations with a 5th on the way in the east end of Toronto that we're hopeful that will be in development this year. Grace, if you just want to slide down. We're on track this year to hit very close to $30 million in revenue. So we're not a startup, we're well established and well capitalized. If you wanted to slide. One component of our stores that's important to note is we have handpicked partners in our store. You can learn more about that when you review the presentation. All right, Grace, if you want to slide down. So where we are now, and Grace, if you want to slide. So just some financial highlights. So we're up between 20 and 25% this year, continuing to grow strong sales. Our online sales are noted there. Each quarter this year has been very, very successful for us. Our capitalization structure, I don't want to touch too much on it, but there's all the financial details. We just completed a capital raise just at the end of December. So we're well capitalized going into this fiscal year. And then our financials and our track, we're on track to hit close to $30 million in sales this year. And then just the go forward. So for this fiscal year, we're very focused on cash cost improvements. So we're segueing out of our centralized distribution facility, which is a big one for us. That's going to save our company about $1 million a year. We're continuing to grow our sales through our private label Kitchen Originals, our handpicked partner program, or online. In terms of growth, we're planning to develop our Leaside store in the east end of Toronto and continue to grow, with various channels being online. And then also looking at select M&A opportunities. So we touched on, plant-based. And so we acquired a company called The Future of Cheese, which we signed a letter of intent, and we should be closing that transaction very shortly. And you'll hear from that principal in, I think, the next hour's presentation. But we're very excited for that company and leveraging our existing sales to get this company going into our retail stores, but also all the connections and relationships that we have that allow a company that's starting off to get a jump start and not be cold calling on distributors and retailers to get that jump start into the retail industry. So yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for that, Matt. We'll make sure that your presentations and any links that you share are added into the chat or into the show notes, so it's easier for our viewers to find it. I'm going to invite Julia to join us again as well while we go into the Q&A portion of this. I know we've got some time here to go through this stuff. And I've got a few questions prepared that I'd like to. They're all relatable to each of your companies, so I'm going to get each of your answers on it. But again, to our audience, don't be shy. If you have any questions or if you're curious about anything for any of our 3 speakers, feel free to put it into the chat box. I'm more than happy to get their opinions on it. But my first question for each of you guys is, based on your presentations that you've shown us, I know you guys touched on each of these, but what are some of your milestones for the upcoming year? And I'm going to start this one with Matt, since you finished.
Big milestones for us coming up are we're hopeful that we're going to be closing our transaction with the Future of Cheese company that we just acquired. That should be completed sometime this month, and we'll start rolling out their products not only into our stores, but into the retail network that we have connections with independent retailers. Also this month, we're going to be segueing out of our centralized DC, which is a huge milestone for us in terms of cost savings and adding to our profitability and P&L. And then later in the year, the opening of our 5th location once we start construction in the east end of Toronto. So lots of great milestones happening this year for our company.
Got it. I want to make sure I give everybody else a chance to respond to that as well. But Matt, there's a question that's come in here from one of our viewers, and basically they want to know what your plans for the U.S. market are. What's that expansion looking like in the next 5 years? Are you guys looking at that?
From a bricks and mortars perspective, we're not looking at the U.S. market. Ontario alone has a huge amount of potential, and we've identified that Ontario could probably support up to 25 organic garage locations before we maybe segue out of province. And the next logical step for us would be to potentially open bricks and mortar stores in BC. It's the next most populous place in terms of people looking for organic and natural products. So that would probably be our rollout strategy.
Got it. Matt, there's a couple more questions that have come in for you, but I'm gonna come back to you. I want to give Julia a chance to answer the milestone question as well. Julia, so tell us about PlantX and upcoming milestones.
Yeah, sure. So we will keep on adding verticals and are working on a growth at the current pace. And to add much more products. As I mentioned, we already offer a couple thousand products, so we keep on working and keep on expanding our platform. And we also will add new exciting meals designed by renowned chefs. And we will also start delivering meals to the US in addition to Canada. I'm super excited about that. And we will also open up 3 brick and mortar locations, as I briefly touched base in my presentation. We will open 1 store in San Diego, another one in Squamish in Canada, and 1 in the state of Israel in Tel Aviv. Super exciting. And we will start distributing our products internationally into Europe. We are also working on a PlantX mobile app. There are amazing things happening in the next couple of months. So many milestones in 2021 for sure.
Make sure you go to their website and sign up for their news releases so you can keep up with their initiatives and stuff they're working on. Donna, your turn.
So I would say for Holy Crap specifically, one of our biggest milestones is we're very much a West Coast brand currently. So we are looking at gaining more distribution in the East. Also, e-com is a consistent opportunity for us, for both brands, for both Holy Crap and Yam Chops. And Yam Chops is just building out that entire portfolio. There's so much opportunity with Yam Chops. So it's e-com, new retail locations, grocery retail opportunities, and then on top of that, opening up locations in the US, as I mentioned in our presentation.
Got it. That was a question that had come in for you as well. If you were planning on acquiring more companies to grow your product range this year, and then obviously what your plans were about expansion in the US market. So thank you for answering that. I've got a question here for Matt that's come in. Can see a lot of inflection points between all of the businesses, in particular PlantX and the brand businesses being available in bricks and mortar stores like Organic Garage. Is this something the plant businesses are talking to each other about?
All I can say is that we get approached all the time. I mean, like I mentioned, we carry 8,000 to 10,000 products in our store, and we've been an incubator for so many small businesses. So we see products before anybody else because, like I mentioned, plant-based for the organic and wellness industry, we're the epicenter of it. You know, you will see products in our stores way before you'll ever see it in a conventional grocer. So we get access to startup companies and new companies starting out, and always discussions going on. So yeah.
While I have you here, Matt, there's another one that's come up for you. Just there's a viewer that wants to know if you report online order sales versus the in-store sales. In our deck, and unfortunately I couldn't touch on that too much, but we do have a partnership with an online delivery service, and we did touch on our percentage of sales that we generate online.
The one thing I think the pandemic taught grocery retail specifically is there's still a huge demand for bricks and mortar. So in our deck, it showed, I think it was around 8.5% to 9% of our sales was generated online. So while a nice amount, obviously the significant portion is still being experienced in store through bricks and mortar.
Perfect. Donna, I'm going to come back to you with this one. Actually, I'm going to ask all of you guys this because, you know, we're seeing a lot of different products, a lot of companies coming into this marketplace. I want to know, what are some of the challenges companies like yours face or struggle with when it comes to getting products on shelves and getting them out to market? I'm going to start with Julia on this one.
So since we don't, I mean, we are basically the platform to offer all kind of products. So we definitely have to make sure that these products are 100% plant-based, and we also want to make sure that they are healthy, you know, because I think there are plant-based products out there, but they can still be like loaded with sugar and, you know, gluten, and be in the end like really unhealthy. So we really want to keep like a really high-end selection. But in the end, I mean, we are happy that so many new products come on the market, because that's actually what we want to offer. We want to offer a very high variety of different products, and that's what we are here for. So
what do you find that companies struggle with when it comes to getting these products to market?
You mean like in general when companies bring their product on the market?
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I mean, in the end, you have to make people understand that, first of all, a plant-based product can be nutritious, and it can give you enough energy, and, you know, that plant-based products can be tasty, because so many people have no idea, you know, they're like, oh, that's plant-based? No, I might not like that. So I think that's a challenge, but I also see like a big change also in the past few months or year also because of the pandemic, that like people actually are more open to those kind of products. Yeah, I think that's like a challenge, but in the end, I think it's getting easier and easier for those kind of companies. So I think that people are much more open nowadays than they used to be.
And I guess, Julia, having that portion of your cooking and sharing recipes on your website definitely helps, you know, get more people on board. Donna, what about yourself? I know you've got plenty of experience when it comes to branding and getting products and things like that. What are your thoughts on this?
So I would say a couple of things. I would say that today's consumer is extremely well educated. So they have so much access to so much information. So they're walking into shops already knowing a lot. I think having a compelling story, a compelling reason as a brand and as a product is really important. And people are looking for functional benefits. So I think being positioned and being able to communicate your functional benefits is really important to the consumer to help continue to increase their education. I think with Yam Chops, I honestly think our challenge, because our challenge will be similar to what I just said, but our challenge is keeping up with demand, which is extremely exciting. So it's a good problem to have, I'd say.
Got it. We've got a lot of questions that are coming through for Matt and Julia and Donna. What I would say is we probably don't have enough time to get through all of them. I am going to let Matt answer the last question as well. But in between sessions, I would highly recommend any questions I've missed. If you want to reach out to Matt in one of our waiting rooms, I'm sure if Matt has time, he can join you guys there and hopefully answer those before our next session starts. If not, feel free and reach out to him via his email address or LinkedIn, and I'm sure that he will take the time to answer your questions. But Matt, before we run out of time, I want to make sure you have a couple of minutes to talk about some of the challenges companies face as well when it comes to branding and getting products on shelves.
Yeah, so for us as a retailer, I mean, obviously, we're not concerned about bringing products to market per se, but I can say on the flip side is we get inundated with product requests to get listed. So I've been through many meetings with, younger companies, more mature companies, and seen kind of the difficulties that they face. And I think that's one thing where we feel so confident in terms of our recent acquisition and entering that space is we offer a leg up. So not only do we give the packaged product an entry point to retail, being Organic Garage, but through our connections, we have access to give them distribution. And I would say one of probably the two biggest challenges for any packaged good is, number one, capital. Do they have access to capital to scale their business? And as a startup, sometimes it's very difficult, of which we help answer that question. And the second biggest challenge is distribution. How do you get your product out to retailers? And we solve that in two ways. One being the fact that we are a retailer and growing, so we give that product a chance in our own stores. But number two, because we purchase so much and we have relationships with distributors, it takes one phone call to get a product listed with the distributor we already do business with. So since our announcement about our acquisition, a lot of companies have started to contact us, understanding that we answer a lot of those challenges that they face initially when going out to market with their product.
Got it. We have 1 minute left, so I'm going to give each of you guys 30 seconds to let the audience know why Organic Grower. And then I'm going to go to Julia and Donna, and then we can end it off.
Why Organic Garage? Well,
why should investors be looking at your company?
Well, I think you said, from a customer's perspective, we're healthier food for less. So we are on the value end of the chain. I think Donna touched on it. Customers are educated. You don't need to educate the customer. They are looking for price, and that is where we are leading. So yeah. Perfect.
Julia, before we get cut off, your turn.
So yeah, basically, we are unique and enjoy a first mover advantage in being the first one-stop shop for all things plant-based. While other companies offer plant-based products, there are no competitors that offer a combination of all of these products on one convenient e-commerce platform. And our shares are increasingly more available to various shareholders and investors. So yeah, invest in PlantX. It's highly attractive.
Perfect. Thank you, Julia. Donna, your turn.
I would just say for the growth opportunity that Plant & Co offers. So similar to what Julia was saying, is we're going to be offering other verticals as well. So we're off to an amazing start with a lot of growth opportunity. And that's what I would say.
Perfect. I want to thank all three of you guys for taking the time to join us, not only educating our audience, but myself as well on this very interesting sector that is growing and has lots of room to grow.